Hi Internet, good to be here again. My apologies for not making any technical or maintenance videos for a while. To be honest with you, I was just being a little bit lazy, but I'm back right now, and I just had to service one of my second stages Apeks regulator XTX 50. And the second one should be serviced today, and I decided, okay, I'm just gonna make a video and we'll do disassembly and assembly and tune-up. I'm not gonna spend as much time on cleaning, so if you'd like to see how the regulator get cleaned, please refer to my previous videos where I was doing cleaning for the DIP 6 regulator. That's fully applicable. Warm water, soap, drying, rinsing with the distilled water, metal parts, sonicating with the 50-50 vinegar water solution, and rinsing it off, and fully drying and lubricating and assembling. So that stays the same. So without further ado, we can start moving on to the servicing the Apeks XTX 50 second stage regulator. So here's the manual that is available online. You can download it. So this one is actually version from 2013, but it's fully applicable, so working. So if you would like to download the manual, you can actually go online and Google it. All right. We're getting a regulator. So this one is configured for long hose, but it doesn't really matter what configuration you have. So we're just gonna disconnect from the second stage and from the first stage, both of those connections here. So second stage disconnected, and I'm gonna disconnect it from the first stage. Yeah, it's a little bit awkward with the long hose, but I'm sure everybody can manage that. So the reason why I'm disconnecting from the first stage, because I'm planning to replace the O-rings on all of the hoses as well as my inflator hose. Just right here. So we're gonna put the first stage aside. By the way, this video is coming when I will be servicing the Apeks DST first stage. We also will be installing the fifth port, which is missing on this basic configuration. Okay. So taking the O-rings and putting them aside. So there's another one inside here. Okay, the reminder just to use your brass picks, not stainless steel, so you don't scratch any surfaces. It's a different size O-ring. Here. I'm gonna put the hose aside, we don't need it. So same thing with this hose. Okay, and we're not disassembling the actual inflator connector here. Leave it like this. So this second stage hasn't been serviced for almost 2 years, and you can tell how corroded is the thread on the adjustment knob. So yeah, well, the first thing we have to take off the front cover, and to take it, you can use the rubber glove and grasp that really tight, but I can tell you that this cover is screwed in like really tight. I guess I even think that they use some sort of the drop of the glue, or maybe like the thread locker to keep it from the manufacturer. So I do recommend to buy the Apeks tool. So to take the front cover off, and it also has the top portion of the tool is we're gonna be using it to adjust the lever height when the regulator will be assembled. So the tool part number is AT20F. I don't know if you would be able to see that. So inside it's A like Apple, T like Thomas, 20F like Frank. Okay, so basically you insert the tool in the purge button area like so, and twist it. So that will help you to unscrew the cover. So put the cover aside. Inside we will see the retaining for the diaphragm, which actually came off with diaphragm altogether, kind of stuck to it. So that's this plastic piece. It's a diaphragm. The diaphragm does not come with the kit for the maintenance on the Apeks regulator. So they're basically suggesting you to inspect it to make sure there's no wear and tear, so nothing get jammed or there's no holes on it. I usually inspect it by looking on the light. So that one seems to be good, but we're gonna wash it, dry it, and reuse it. So, and as you can see, if you watch my previous videos on the DIP6, there's really nothing different on this regulator than a DIP6. So 6, there's a one significant difference. They have a adjustment in adjustment knob for the fine tuning, which we will be covering on this video. But other than that, the regulator is basically very similar. Okay, so the next step will be to remove the barrel from the regulator body. We will take off the heatsink nut. Put it aside, and by pressing the lever, we will be carefully removing the barrel from the regulator body. Be careful not to let the lever fly up quickly, so just control it with your hand. And then here we have our Venturi lever, which actually goes off like that. So the Venturi level has the O-ring. Disassemble, put it aside. So we'll get to that later. So what else is here? So this regulator can be left-handed or right-handed. So there's this retaining ring that can be moved to this side, and then you have your adjustment on the left. So we have to remove this piece as well. It just pops off, and it has the same size O-ring as the Venturi lever. So put it here. So then what's left is the mouthpiece, which we're going to be removing by cutting it off. Zip tie, get off. So we're going to remove the mouthpiece. It also does not come in a service kit, so it's supposed to be reused, but we're gonna make sure there's no holes on it. We're just kind of stretching this area where zip tie went, make sure it's all good. So, and it is good. So the last thing is to get access to our butterfly valve, which is below the deflectors here. So you just press this in the middle, and it should so you see the deflector slides off. It have the rails which it's sliding on, those rails here. So this is this side, and the second side will just slide off from this side. So that leaves us with the actual body. So we do inspect the butterfly valve by lifting it up, making sure it is in a good shape. When we will be cleaning the regulator, we will make sure that we clean under the valve as well. We're not going to remove it because that will actually can jeopardize this the valve itself. So if you don't have a spare, don't remove it. Leave it on the regulator. Okay. Now let's have a look on our barrel assembly with the lever and the poppet inside. So what we have to do, we need to release the pressure from the spring that's inside there by unscrewing the adjustment knob all the way, and that will also allow us for this pin that holds the adjustment knob to fall off. So make sure you're working on a surface that you know where the pin will fall. So the pin is off. So now we can completely unscrew and take off the adjustment knob. Put this one aside. You can see the deposits from the salt on the knob. We're gonna remove this O-ring here. And then you can have a look that the inside of the adjustment knob, that's the difference from the Dip6 design. It has a fine-tuned adjustment shaft that's actually pushing on a spring inside of the barrel and letting us to fine-tune adjustment when we'll actually be using magnet healing gauge to adjust the cracking effort when we'll be breathing. So this little black pin sticks out and goes in depending how you screw it inside of here. So to access the screw, you have to remove this cover here, just the plastic cover. And then you can see here you have the hex that could be screwed in and out depending how you will be adjusting our Venturi. Sorry, not Venturi, but cracking effort. We'll be doing that at the end of the video when we'll be reassembling and adjusting it. So this is, what size is that? Let me just double check. This is 5mm hex. Okay. So right now we have to unscrew it completely to take it off from the adjustment knob body. And it's completely off unscrewed, but it will not fall off from the body because there's O-ring here. There's two O-rings actually that holding it, and I'll just use that pin to pop it off from here. There you go. We have a very small O-ring here, and another O-ring is here, so they need to be replaced. this is plastic. So you can see that fine thread here that goes in and out inside of the adjustment knob. So that completes disassembly of it. So we're just gonna leave it here, the cup. So the pin. So now we don't have any tension on the lever. So you can leave the lever in and push the poppet that sits inside by itself, but I prefer just to carefully remove it. Just remove one leg at a time, like that. And it comes off. Now the whole assembly should fall off. So here we see the poppet, the balancing chamber, spring, and low pressure seat. So we'll remove the seat. These things get replaced. Remove the poppet, spring, balancing chamber. And there's a small O-ring. The Deep 6 actually has 2 O-rings to seal here, this area, but Apeks only have 1. So I take this O-ring. And this small O-ring here is different size than the one goes on this one, so don't mix them up. Okay, let's pop it to put aside. Lever. So the only thing that left, we have to remove this O-ring here. And there's an orifice that has to be unscrewed and taken off from here. But it's actually need a special tool to be unscrewed. You can use a screwdriver, flat head screwdriver, but if you can see, for example, this one, it will go inside, but it's only going to engage to one side of the slot. But if you will take the bigger screwdriver, for example, like this one, it's probably wide enough, but because it has this diamond shape here, it's not going inside of the barrel. So if you want to modify and kind of file off those edges on a screwdriver, it will go in. But for me, I have this inline adjustment tool, which used to adjust the position of the orifice inside of the barrel, and it has this slotted tool on one end. And another end, if you unscrew it from here, it has a hex. The one that Deep 6 using is the hex, like type of this one, but Apeks using this. So I'm gonna get inside. And I'm just gonna use that tool to unscrew it. It's not gonna fall off because it also have a O-ring that holding it inside. So you can push it from the back, but make sure you're using wood or plastic, because if you damage the end of the orifice that actually pushes to the low pressure seat, that you will ruin the orifice. So yeah, I'm just using plastic, gently pushing it off. So this area is very critical to make sure it's not get damaged. So I just use plastic, or like you can use wooden dowel. And then we're gonna change this O-ring as well. And that's it. That's the barrel. It's gonna be cleaned, sonicated, and ready to go. So as you can see, straightforward, very simple. That completes the disassembly. Now I'm gonna be cleaning it using the talk a little bit about the service kit. So it came like this. This card here tells all the parts number that are on a diagram inside of the manual, which I'm gonna show in a minute. But it's also, this card is for every kit that Apeks supplied for their regulators, not just for XTX 50, but all kind of other regulators. So the one that we interested for ATX, XTX, MTX second stages is this one, and the part number for that kit is AP0219. So this one, and it has a list of all the parts that inside of the kit. As you can see, there's no mouthpiece and no diaphragm, so just O-rings, low pressure seat, and a zip tie. Okay, so on another side you'll see all of the parts number and O-ring in a regional side, so you can match which O-ring you are taking from this bag. Okay, for example, this one is AP1154. Then you can go in the manual at the back, and this is our XTX 50 diagram, and we just look AP1154P, AP. We have this one, AP114 O-ring, position 16 on a diagram. This is the position 16. This is the O-ring for our orifice that we just take at this one. So you can always go and find the O-ring depending where it is on a diagram. So I'm just gonna flip it over. Yeah. So each of those numbers corresponds to the number that comes in a kit. Here, there's numbers for each O-ring, and you can always place the O-ring and see which one you need to put in where. I found this very convenient. So yeah, so we'll see you in a bit in the reassembly. Thank you. So now all of the parts been cleaned and dried overnight. I checked all the corrosion went off, so it looks pretty good. This thread here on adjustment knob was really bad, covered with the salt deposit, but it's nice and shiny. I already replace all of the O-rings with the new one. I put the new low pressure seat. So now we're gonna begin with the assembly process. So we're gonna start with the barrel, and with the so to properly position the lever on the barrel, you put the barrel facing this end up, with the hole, the big hole here facing you. So that line here, center line, so you will see that the hole for the lever is offset from the center line. So the lever should face right this way. So basically we'll be installing it from here. Okay, so like this. So we put the lever first, then we assemble the puppet. So we're gonna install the low pressure seat by pressing it all the way in. Then we're gonna install the O-ring here, and we're gonna lubricate it. Again, I'm using this type of lubricant. This is the smallest O-ring. Okay. Making sure it sits in the recess here. So lubricate it. And the next step is to get your balancing chamber and the spring. So put it right here. Well, actually, what you also can do, you can also see if the balancing chamber in O-ring works well by there's a little hole inside of the low pressure seat. You put this against the flat surface, like the metal or glass, and you put your balancing chamber on. See, it's supposed to kind of balance back like a shock absorber. So that means it's working really well. Okay, so we put the spring here. Okay, so then we're supposed to insert that whole assembly in the barrel. If you notice here, there with the demand lever facing up, insert your pocket with these little fits that stick down here from both sides, facing down away from the lever. While you're inserting it, place the lever up all the way. Use your finger to push it through. And now when the lever is in a working position, it will catch the whole poppet assembly inside. Okay. By putting the barrel aside, let's just assemble the adjustment knob. So we'll put the new lubricated O-ring here. Okay. This is the fine-tune adjuster. So we put this O-ring on the shaft. All the way to this recess position here, like that. And this O-ring we'll put on another end. All right. So then we push it inside of the adjustment knob, press it in, and using the 5mm hex, start screwing it in by applying some pressure. Just so it flat with the surface. Don't screw it all the way, just to make sure. So it goes kind of flat. See, it's almost flat to the surface here. And then we're gonna screw 6 full turns in. 1, 2, 3. I think it's actually engaged. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now I can see that it's sticking up from here. It's about a millimeter, and that should be enough and starting point, good starting point for adjustment. So don't put the plug, this plug here yet, leave it aside. Now we're gonna put the adjustment knob inside of the barrel and start screwing it in. Applying some inward pressure. So we're gonna screw it until like this hole here will become clear, so we can put our pin in to hold the adjustment knob in. Okay, see, I don't know if you can see that. It's all the way clear. So we're gonna put our pin in to that hole. Make sure it's centered. And we're gonna back up the knob that the pin will be held in place. You can also notice that the lever is already under tension. It's under tension and it's pressing, taking away the high pressure seat when we press on it. When the diaphragm getting in, the air start coming in. Yeah, high pressure seat is moving away. Okay, that's all good. So this regulator, I have it as a original setup at right hand position. So this is where the adjustments are. That venturi is here and adjustment knob. So this is configured for the right hand position, but you can also configure it that everything will be on this side. So instead of putting the venturi knob here for adjustment, it will go here. But to be able to have this in the right position, so you need to move this lever. I don't know if it will be visible. Just there is an error here, and then there's a line says right. So right now this error facing this line. So this is for right hand position. But if we move that whole O-ring around to this line position, which says left, so then you can insert it from the left side, and barrel will be inserted also from this side, right? But I'm gonna assemble. I'm just telling it that you guys that that is possible. But I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna assemble it back the way it was. So the venturi will go from this side, and that plug will go from this side. So if we will swap this thing, put the barrel from here, so that will be left-handed regulator. So we're not gonna do that. So we'll be going this way. So need to lubricate the O-ring. Put it on a venturi. Like this. Another O-ring, same size, goes on a spare plug. All right. Now we have to put the spare plug in. There's only one way you can put it in. See that opening here, and that's this recess, like it actually sticking out off, so it will go like that. So you would not be able to put it any other way around. So basically these two chicks, right, they should stick vertically where the barrel will be sitting. So we're putting that in. Okay. And this side is for the venturi. Okay. So that's that, and then we are going to put the O-ring here. Yeah, you can put this O-ring first before putting the lever in. It probably will be easier. And again, don't forget that we're not letting it jump. So we're always holding the lever. So putting O-ring in this recess here. All right. Goes all the way. Putting it in. Holding the lever. Like that. Yep. So the lever, it sits between those two like plastic walls that I was showing you. Okay. So once this in, we need to put the O-ring here that goes with the heat nut. So don't apply too much force here because it's plastic and that's metal, so it can actually damage and deform the actual plastic. So just a little bit of tension on this heat nut so it sits in place. Okay, so now we don't see the squeaking noise and we don't hear it, so it's all moving well. Venturi moves well. So we're gonna open it all the way. We're gonna move venturi to the plus position and leave it like this, open all the way for adjustment, okay? So now we're gonna install the orifice that goes against the seat. So putting this new lubricated O-ring. Okay. So we're also inspecting, making sure the surface here is to have no damage or scars or anything. So now we're gonna screw it to the barrel using my adjustment tool, which has these slots here that actually goes here, right? So you put it on, press it in, push it all the way inside like this, and kind of you'll start screwing it in. But before doing that, I'm going to point your attention to the position of the demand lever and the opening plane of the regulator. Right now, they're basically at the same height. So the lever is not sticking out and not getting in. So we will have to screw that orifice in to make that lever drop down by 4 millimeters below that line here. So basically 4 millimeters. I don't know if you can see that right now. The wrench is touching the lever. So we want to screw it in and drop that lever down. So it's about 4 millimeters down. Okay. There we go. See how it's moving? So that's probably where we want it to be. Oops. I don't know how I can show you that it's actually dropped down and have a distance between the wrench now and the lever. Because if I will lift it, it will just jump off. But yeah, hold it like this and look. So if we went down, so that's probably will be good initial position for the lever. Okay. But if it's not, I will point you what to do to troubleshoot that. So now we're going to install diaphragm. With its retaining ring cover. And to install the cover, turn it counterclockwise until it sits, and then start turning clockwise position. Yeah, I probably would put a little bit of lubricant here. So it will be easy to remove next time. Okay. So we want to make sure the Apeks wart sits parallel to the barrel. There you go. Again, I use this tool, this handy thing. Yeah, recommend to buy it. You'll see why later. So then we have to install the deflectors to protect the butterfly valve. Make sure that there's nothing stuck on the valve, no debris, nothing. And again, we were washing that. Okay. So again, there's the slots that these little rails going in like this. So you push it till this gap is closed, and then this side goes in. Okay. So don't worry putting the mouthpiece right now. So we will do it later after the adjustment. So basically this regulator is ready for adjustment. Before connecting the second stage to the first stage, we're going to replace the O-rings on our low pressure hoses. So the kit came with few O-rings that you can use for that purpose. So the bigger one, the number 11, 011 I think size, goes to the end that goes to the first stage. Okay. And that's inflator hose. We're not replacing anything inside of this end, but we do replacing O-ring here. The end that goes towards the second stage. Here you go. See that O-ring here? Sits in a groove, yeah. Okay. So now we can start the adjustment. We're gonna connect our intermediate pressure gauge to the inflator to control when the cracking will starting. So when the needle will be dropping, we will be measuring the flow and the magnehelic gauge. So in the meantime, we connecting the inline adjustment tool to the regulator. I'm not sure, so it's engaged. Here we go. So now it's engaged. Hand tight is just good enough. Okay, and now we're going to be slowly opening the tank. So what else I'm going to point here? So when you do the service of your regulator, service one thing at a time. So if you choose to do the second stages first, so then your first stages should be good from the last year. So the intermediate pressure is where it's supposed to be. So you connect not adjust the second stage, but at least you know your first stage is working properly. So we open the pressure. So our intermediate is at around 138 psi. So this is where it's supposed to be for Apeks, okay? So the intermediate pressure reading is from the first stage regulator. So now we're gonna verify if we position the lever properly by putting it down 4 millimeters. So this is where this tool will come handy. So you notice the tool has this shaped handle, which has the two sides. This side inside says no flow, no gas flow. And this side says gas flow. So when we will be pressing the no gas flow to the, we have to align it. It's shaped as your purge button. So we have to align it and press firmly so it's completely engaged. We should not hear any flow, like as it right now. But when we turn it around, we should actually have a flow. And we don't. So that means, so we have to adjust the orifice more to allow for more flow to coming through. Okay. So right now it's fully open. It's hissing, so we're gonna go back slightly. Then we're gonna use no flow. But it should be no flow, so we should adjust it slightly on. No flow. Flow. So this is in the medium right position. So again, if we backed it up a little bit, it starts free flowing, which is not good. So we have to put it back so it's not free flowing. Insert the no flow side in. We should turn it a little bit more. Still hissing. Now not. So turning around, it is flowing. So I would leave it like this, or maybe, maybe we can turn it a little bit more and see what's gonna happen. So now there's no flow on both sides. So back up. No flow. Flow. Good. So disengage. So now when the lever is in a right position, so we have no flow in this position and we have flow in this position. Okay, I'm gonna purge the regulator, shut off the tank. Disconnect it from inline adjustment tool. Connect it directly to the regulator with low pressure hose. Again, I'm reminding you that the venturi should be in the plus position, fully open, and adjustment knob should be also fully open. Okay, so now we'll be using the magnehelic gauge. Again, if you're not familiar with these devices, look at my previous video on adjustment for the Deep 6 regulator. I will not be talking much in this video about this. So basically it's measuring the cracking effort. When the diaphragm is open, we're going to measure that effort as in inches of water. So you can have a look. Okay. So for the fully open, position for the knob, the Apeks specification states it has to be between 1 and 1.5 inches of water. So we're going to be looking at the magnahelic at the moment when this needle on intermediate pressure will start dropping. So when I will be breathing from the regulator, from the mouthpiece, as soon as the diaphragm starts moving, the magnahelic will start showing up the cracking effort, and this needle will drop. So, and we will make sure that this value is between 1 and 1.5. Okay, so I'm going to be breathing. So the value is jumping around, but it's definitely more than 1, but sometimes it's close or even higher than 1.5. So it looks to me in the right position, but for example, if say you have it too high, greater than 1.5, so then we're going to use this 5mm hex, and we will be adjusting here from this side, turning it counterclockwise, so lowering the magnahelic pressure. So for example, I turn it quarter turn. Let's do more. Sorry about that. So I think it's getting lower. Let's lower it a little bit more. So now it's all around 1.2, so which is fine, but I'm gonna increase it a little bit to be somewhere in the middle, between 1 and 1.5. So let's just try that. more. Okay, that looks good. So I hope you understand when to look at the value. So the needle drops, and then you look what it's showing you at the magna healing. So you breeze from the regulator slightly, and if it's too high, counterclockwise on this adjustment here inside, or if too low, clockwise. Okay. So now we're gonna screw the knob all the way in and measure the cracking effort with it's fully down. It should be greater than 2. Again, we're looking at the needle and looking here at the same time. This is fully adjusted. Open it up again, removing the magna helic, making sure we depressurize the system. Now we're gonna put the plug back here. Okay. Always store the regulator with the knob fully out. So that will reduce the tension on a spring and prolong the life of your regulator. Don't screw it in like this and store. So the Venturi doesn't matter. You can store it either way, but this, open it up and keep it like that. Okay. So now we're gonna install the mouthpiece. Again, the mouthpiece always has the word top here on top. So this is what goes up when you look at the regulator. Center it, make sure it's all good. New zip tie that comes with the regulator. And I like to position this side on here, so away from the knob, so it's not interfere with me moving the Venturi in here. So that side goes away here. Okay. And we're gonna use the sharp knife to cut it off. Yeah. Don't use the side cutters here because it's gonna leave the sharp edges here. So this goes back. So this is concluding the disassembly, cleaning and reassembly of XTX 50 Apeks second stage. Please hit the like button, look at the comments and leave the comments below. Also look at, I'm gonna leave the links to my previous videos for the servicing the second stage of Deep 6 regulator, where I go with more details on cleaning steps for your references. Other than that, the next video will be the first stage service for the Apeks, including installation of the 5th port. All right, thank you for watching.